Hello folks, this is Shane with Werewolf. Thanks for stopping back by the channel. So today let's chat for a minute about vehicles, cars. So over the last couple of decades, vehicles in general have become much bigger and much heavier. Now, when that happens to a vehicle, when it gets bigger and everything suffers dynamically. Meaning the handling, the braking, the acceleration, all of that gets worse because it's heavier, it's got more mass that needs to be accelerated, braked, be able to go around corners. Now, engineers have been able to mitigate that to a certain degree by bigger brakes and adding more power and updated, better suspension geometry and all that stuff. But still, you can't break the laws of physics that you just have more mass that you're trying to accelerate and stop and get to go around a corner. Everything gets worse. Why am I saying all this stuff? Because the exact same thing applies to people. If you're carrying too much weight, if you're overweight, it makes everything that you do dynamically worse. And you don't have engineers that can come in and redesign your suspension system to make it better. You have to end up losing the weight if you want to get back to where everything is better. Because carrying the extra weight makes everything worse, such as squatting. You know, if you've got an extra 20 pounds or 10 kilos that you're carrying around with you, you're having to squat with an extra 20 pounds or 10 kilos that if you lost that weight, you wouldn't. So the same thing applies with pull-ups. You're having to pull more weight. And if you're into doing anything athletic at all, even recreationally, it's extra weight that you have to accelerate and stop and get to go around a corner. So the same thing that applies to vehicles getting bigger and heavier and getting worse dynamically applies to people too. Don't forget that. Everything will get better as far as your activities moving through space if you can shed a little bit extra weight, if you're carrying a little bit extra weight. So where this is all going, very briefly, is obviously exercise. We talk about exercise here all the time, but find a diet or nutrition plan or whatever you choose to call it, something that you can stick with, something that you can maintain your weight goals, but you can stick with long term. Because if you can't stick with it long term, then you're just gonna end up yo-yoing up and down and up and down and up and down. So, and also as a side note, your shoes might even last longer because you're not carrying around as much weight that will punish your shoes as you step. So anyway, I hope that gives you something to think about a little bit. Remember to like, subscribe, and check back to the channel because more will be coming your way very soon. And check the link down below for our merchandise.